I release the weight of yesterday. I release doubt, and I stop carrying it as fact. I release fear that was never mine to keep. I release old patterns that no longer fit who I am. I release what does not serve me without guilt. I release the need to control every outcome. I release hesitation that has held me at the edge. I release comparison because my path is mine alone. I release the past fully and without looking back. I release worry that solves nothing and steals everything. I release pressure that was never truly mine to carry. I release every limit I once mistook for truth. I release tension from my shoulders, my jaw, my chest. I release confusion and make room for clear direction. I release overthinking and return to simple trust. I release regret because I did the best I knew how. I release distraction and come back to what matters. I release resistance because flow has always been easier. I release stress and choose calm, deliberate energy. I release the pressure to be perfect, and I exhale. I release the fear of failure because failure is just data. I release old stories that no longer describe who I am. I release what dims my spirit, completely and on purpose. I let go of old weight that I have outgrown. I release the past gently, without forcing the process. I release tension from my body, breath by breath. I breathe out the noise that clutters my mind. I release outdated stories and step into who I am becoming. I let go of chasing what was never meant to chase me. I release control and choose grace instead. I am releasing force, and I am receiving flow. I release the weight of perfection and rest in who I am. I release old energy and welcome the new with open arms. I release the rush and I receive the moment as it is. I let go of old resistance and trust the flow of life. I release what no longer fits and I rise into my true expression. I let go of the need to improve myself into worthiness. I release the noise in my life and receive the peace I was waiting for. I no longer hold what drains me, and I grow lighter each day. I release the old pace and rise with steady, unhurried calm. I let go of overthinking and rise with clear purpose. I release what kept me small and step into the space I was always meant for. I release the pressure to rush and move at the pace of my own soul. I release resistance and step fully into the flow that carries me forward. I release the weight of yesterday and rise into the freshness of today. I let go of doubt and rise anchored in quiet certainty. I release comparisons and move in my own rhythm. I release urgency and trust my own timing completely. I release guilt and give myself full permission to enjoy my life. I let go of noise that clouds my mind and rise into peace. I release confusion and step into focused presence. I release the need to explain myself to anyone. I let go of what held me back and receive infinite confidence. I release tension from my thoughts and receive stillness instead. I let go of outdated expectations and rise with fresh vision. I release past versions of myself and I step into who I am becoming. I free myself from overthinking and lean into simplicity. I release the fear of the unknown and step forward with inner trust. I release comparison and celebrate the path I am walking. I let go of proving myself and rest in simply being. I release urgency and move in harmony with what I actually need. I receive fresh strength for whatever this day requires. I receive trust in place of every doubt I release. I receive calm where fear used to live. I receive healthy change instead of clinging to old patterns. I receive what uplifts me, and I let it in fully. I receive direction the moment I stop gripping control. I receive momentum the instant I release hesitation. I receive confidence in place of comparison. I receive presence as my replacement for the past. I receive reassurance instead of worry. I receive support in place of pressure I no longer carry. I receive growth where I once saw only limits. I receive harmony where tension used to sit. I receive direction the moment confusion clears. I receive trust instead of endless overthinking. I receive wisdom in place of regret. I receive presence instead of distraction. I receive flow the second I stop resisting. I receive knowing in place of doubt. I receive calm, grounded energy in place of stress. I receive freedom the moment I drop the need to be perfect. I receive new chances where fear of failure used to live. I receive new beginnings instead of old, tired stories. I receive alignment the moment I release hesitation. I receive what lifts my soul instead of what dims it. I am open to calm blessings instead of old weight. I receive the present fully instead of replaying the past. I receive each new day as a genuine gift. I welcome ease into my body instead of holding tension. I receive clarity the instant I breathe out the noise. I am open to calm connections and fresh beginnings. I receive the flow of what is meant for me without chasing it. I receive grace the moment I release control. I am ready to receive everything that is already mine. I receive this moment with my full, undivided presence. I receive my life exactly as it is, with deeper acceptance. I receive clarity through stillness instead of through struggle. I receive each breath as an invitation to begin again. I receive love with ease, and I let it stay. I receive the beauty hidden in small, ordinary things. I receive the fullness of this season of my life. I am open to blessings that match the peace I have built within me. I receive what nurtures me and lets me grow. I receive what aligns, and I release what constrains. I receive calm like a steady, dependable wave. I receive what is mine without needing to earn it twice. I receive rest without apology and without guilt. I receive truth with softness instead of resistance. I receive simplicity as my birthright, not my reward. I receive joy and happiness even in the most ordinary moments. I receive support with gratitude, and I let it guide me. I receive the lessons life offers me with grace, not resentment. I receive blessings, both the ones I expected and the ones I never saw coming. I receive clarity to move forward with real purpose. I receive healing in my mind, my body, and my spirit. I receive miracles that remind me of what is genuinely possible. I receive peace in every part of my being. I receive divine guidance for whatever comes next. I receive all the good that has always been meant for me. I rise into purpose with my strength renewed. I rise with courage where trust has replaced doubt. I rise with focus, calm and steady. I rise into alignment with healthier patterns. I rise with power, lighter for what I released. I rise with clarity, guided rather than gripping. I rise with intention instead of hesitation. I rise in my own truth, free from comparison. I rise with purpose, fully present in this moment. I rise with faith instead of worry. I rise with ease, unburdened by pressure that was never mine. I rise with vision where limits used to stand. I rise with strength and harmony in equal measure. I rise with focus once confusion clears. I rise in peace of mind, free of overthinking. I rise with gracefulness, carrying wisdom instead of regret. I rise with clarity, fully present and undistracted. I rise with confidence, flowing instead of forcing. I rise with assurance, certain instead of doubting. I rise with awareness, calm instead of stressed. I rise just as I am, free from the pressure to be perfect. I rise in my power, unafraid of failure. I rise with excitement for the beginnings ahead of me. I rise in full presence, aligned and unhurried. I rise into the light of my own truth. I rise into steady joy, open to calm blessings. I rise into the beauty of my life exactly as it is right now. I rise with strength and softness held together. I rise with grounded faith, breathing clarity instead of noise. I rise into the joy of who I am becoming. I rise with hope, rooted in the freedom of a clear mind. I rise with courage, trusting instead of fearing. I rise lighter, freer, and truer with every release. I rise into alignment, fully present for this moment. I rise with deeper acceptance of my life as it unfolds. I rise and trust, even when I cannot see the whole path. I am willing to rise into my new life, one day at a time. I am rising with joy, carried by flow instead of force. I rise in peace with exactly who I am. I rise with intention, clear-eyed and unhurried. I rise renewed, carrying new energy instead of old weight. I rise in mindful presence, fully here. I rise with trust in the flow of my own life. I rise into my true expression, without apology. I rise with warmth in my heart, open to love. I rise anchored in the truth that I am already enough. I rise with clarity after choosing peace over noise. I rise with deeper compassion for myself and for others. I rise with gratitude for the beauty in small things. I rise lighter each day, carrying less and living more. I rise with steady calm, no longer rushing my own life. I rise in sync with the grace of this season. I rise into the space I was always meant to fill. I rise at the pace of my own soul, not anyone else's clock. I rise with a light heart, supported and in harmony. I rise with bold peace, no longer bound by old fears. I rise in my own way, choosing what truly aligns. I rise steady in spirit, even when life moves quickly. I rise with gentle focus instead of forced effort. I rise as the version of my story that I now choose to write. I rise rooted in self-love, not self-criticism. I rise held by grace, supported even when I cannot see it. I rise with relaxed strength, free from old tension. I rise with patience, moving at my own deliberate pace. I rise in harmony with the sweetness of this season. I rise with clean energy, carrying only what is truly mine. I rise with new and brilliant ideas arriving gently. I rise restored, having received rest without apology. I rise in quiet knowing, certain of my own truth. I rise in focused presence, clear and unclouded. I rise in lightness, simplicity as my birthright. I rise with wonder, finding joy in the ordinary. I rise with renewed passion, free to begin again. I rise with calm direction, thoughts settled and clear. I release fear, I receive trust, and I rise with courage. I release doubt, I receive knowing, and I rise with assurance. I release control, I receive grace, and I rise in trust. I release resistance, I receive flow, and I rise with confidence. I release the past, I receive the present, and I rise with purpose. I release tension, I receive stillness, and I rise with calm direction. I release comparison, I receive confidence, and I rise in my own truth. I release worry, I receive reassurance, and I rise with faith. I release hesitation, I receive momentum, and I rise with intention. I release old patterns, I receive healthy change, and I rise into alignment. I release pressure, I receive support, and I rise with ease. I release limits, I receive growth, and I rise with vision. I release overthinking, I receive trust, and I rise in peace of mind. I release confusion, I receive direction, and I rise with focus. I release what no longer fits, I receive what uplifts me, and I rise with power. I release urgency, I receive the moment, and I rise in mindful presence. I release old energy, I receive new energy, and I rise renewed. I release the rush, I receive the moment fully, and I move forward with grace. I release outdated stories, I receive fresh vision, and I rise renewed. I release shame, I receive worth, and I rise in quiet strength. I release all that no longer serves my highest good. I receive love, support, and abundance with an open heart. I rise with purpose, power, and peace, woven together. I release the weight of old stories and begin again in this life. I receive the lessons life offers me with grace, not bitterness. I rise beyond old limitations into my fullest expression. I release fear, and I step fully into courage. I receive blessings both expected and entirely unseen. I rise by choosing myself over and over without apology. I release doubt and return home to trust. I release resistance and welcome real alignment. I release comparison and honor exactly where I have been. I release the past and reclaim my present power. I release shame and remember my own worth. I release chaos and breathe in calm. On purpose. I release control and embrace divine timing instead. I trust the clearing happening in my life right now. I trust everything that is quietly blooming beneath the surface. I trust my own ascension, even the parts I cannot yet see. I receive life with open hands and rise with an open heart. I rise in love, in strength, and in truth. I rise with the sun, and I shine my light boldly. I rise from every challenge wiser and stronger than before. I rise above fear and follow my own inner fire. I rise in alignment with my soul's true calling. I rise in gratitude for the very path that shaped me. I rise knowing I am becoming exactly who I was meant to be. You are letting go of what no longer serves you. You are opening your heart to everything that is meant for you. You are rising into your highest, truest self. You are brave enough to release the past. You are worthy enough to receive every blessing headed your way. You are strong enough to rise again, and again, and again. You are becoming powerfully, beautifully, and faithfully. You are held, guided, and uplifted by something greater than fear. You are aligned with healing, wholeness, and hope. You are rising, light-filled, resilient, and ready. Claim this as yours. Know it to be true.